How's everybody doing tonight? Well, I appreciate everyone being here tonight, and I do apologize. Sometimes prayers run a little longer than they should here. But when you invite folks to brag on you, you don't want to throw them off stage. You know what I mean? But no, I appreciate the opportunity to have welcome everybody. Welcome to Butts County, Georgia, by the way. Welcome. I also want to thank all the people who just helped with introducing the prayer. Russ Goodman with the prayer. I really appreciate that. Brandon Beach, our treasurer right here. I tell you what, I can remember a time nobody would talk to Beach. Now his signature's on the dollar bill here. So, and Greg Doles, Senator Greg Doles, I really appreciate that. And how about those kids that did the prayer? They were a combination of Stellan Banks' friends and also the ones that sang the national anthem. That was Strong Rock Christian School. They did a wonderful job, didn't they? Josh McCoon, I appreciate him being here, the chairman of the Republican Party. Bruce Lavelle, I appreciate you, my friend. You're a good man, and absolutely. And I definitely, I know we're going to have to start paying Benny Tate here on these campaign trails, because Benny's getting invited to every political event nowadays, but he is the best. You're exactly right. He's been our pastor for going on 20 years now, and he and Barbara, I'm telling you, if you don't know about Rock Springs Church, you don't know where it is amazing what this man has done. And his tenure, he's built literally a 25-person church when he started 36 years ago. It's over 10,000 now members right there, multiple campuses, does an amazing job. And now to the really, 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 really important people I've got to recognize here. I want to thank my wife, my high school sweetheart, Jan Jones here. Jan, stand up and just wave to everybody here. She is my partner in crime. She's my most trusted confidant, and she's the person that knows me best. And I could not do this without her. And I just want to. And also a great mother to our two wonderful children, Stellan Banks, who are 16 and 13, and like I said, she's my sweetheart. She's my baby from way back. So I love her to death, and she does a wonderful job just being a great partner in this journey we call life. So I also want to thank my siblings here. They are Brian and Natalie. They are there, and their spouses, Chris and Heather. We take on these things. We're not just siblings. We're business partners. We're neighbors. We're friends. We're confidants. And I can tell you whenever we do something, we always do it as a team, and I wouldn't trade anything in the world for them and their support. And also I also want to thank the people that made it happen for us. My mother and father, I want to thank them for raising 3 pretty good kids. I think they raised pretty good. They did an amazing job of raising us and teaching us the value of hard work, teaching us that nothing comes free in this world, and also how to treat other people and how to help your neighbor, and always be tough, but don't be a pushover, you know. And I'll tell you right now, when we come as a package too, the family package here. So when somebody crosses one, they gonna get all of us in return. And if you don't think it's significant, just ask some of my last political opponents, you know, because they're good. They're really good at what they do. So. We got an opportunity here to hear the little Jason Aldean music. Anybody like Jason Aldean in here? Jason, he helped me out during the lieutenant governor's race, and I saw him. He's a dear friend, originally from Macon, Georgia. He's done pretty well for himself, and I saw him this past weekend. He said, "When are we going to do something for the governor's race?" I said, "You give me a date, we'll do it." So October 17th, Jason Aldean's coming to the Roxy in Atlanta to perform for a concert for this governor's race on my behalf right there. And I'm very excited about that. Obviously, I'm excited. We've got a lot of elected officials here, more than I can try to name right now, but we've got a lot of state house members. We've got a lot of state senate members. We've got a lot of local elected officials, and we're going to be rolling out those endorsements very, very soon in this election. And I'm so honored to have each and every one of them supporting this campaign and helping us with this striving to be the next governor of the great state of Georgia. So they're fantastic. There's a lot of them here today, and let me just give them a round of applause too for being here today. Want to thank my volunteers. We had a great team. I had our Jones Petroleum family helped out with the putting this thing together. Obviously, my wife was a big part, our campaign team, and a lot of grassroots volunteers. So for that, thank each and every one of y'all for that. And so here we go. We're off now, right? And I'd just like to say, if you didn't know already, I'm Burt Jones. I'm from Jackson, Georgia, and I'm running to be your next governor. I'm kind of like I don't know if many of y'all remember the writer Louis Grizzard or not, you know. Louis Grizzard used to have a famous saying, "I'm bulldog born, I'm bulldog bred, and by God, I'll be bulldog dead." But I'm going to do governor first, all right? So that was probably the last good writer the AJC had, so it's a shame. It's a shame he's not around anymore, because he'd be proud of his dogs and he'd be ashamed of everything else in between. But I'll tell you what, I'm born and raised right here. I've had the opportunity to go to the University of Georgia, and I played for a guy named Mark Rigg. I hope y'all know him. And I got done there, and I came back home and started working in a company called Jones Petroleum Company, and started some businesses within that organization as well. And obviously got done with that, and not got done with that, but also started into politics. I served in the state senate, and then serving now as your lieutenant governor. Somebody asked me, thank you very much. So not many people know who the lieutenant governor is, so that's a big deal right there. I told all the guys, we've got about 7 or 8 guys in the Senate who are running for lieutenant governor now. I told them, I said, I must have made the job look too easy, because there's too many of them wanting to do it right now. But I will tell you this, in the time that I've been lieutenant governor, everybody always asks me, what kind of politician are you? Of course, I don't like that name, but they ask me, I tell them, look, I'm a common sense, business-minded elected official. And I think everybody ought to be like that, to be honest with you. I like to address what I feel like are kitchen table issues. I like to address issues that mean something to the public here and the citizens of the state of Georgia. That's why in the 3 years, Greg did a good job of giving us a synopsis of it. In the 3 years I've been lieutenant governor, we have been focused on lowering your taxes. We've lowered your taxes on the income tax 3 years in a row. We've given $6 billion back to the taxpaying citizens of this state. Yeah, it's worth clapping for. One of my goals is I want to eliminate the state income tax. Not going to do it overnight. It's not going to be easy, but I do always love the pundits that tell you how you can't do it. You just can't get it done. Now, I will tell you this right now. If I'd listened to everybody who ever told me that I couldn't get something done, I would probably be a field rep for CNN right now. So, you know. I mean, you know, so we're going to put the work together, and we're going to put together a plan, and we're going to continue to lower that tax burden, because I think it is important to incentivize people to work. And the only way to incentivize people to work is allow them to take more money home in their back pockets, right? The other thing that I've always been a big believer in is cutting red tape. Lowering taxes and cutting red tape. That's why we passed the red tape rollback. You know, I tell people all the time we ought to be repealing laws instead of creating new ones every year. So, and I'm proud of the fact that we did that here this year. Perfect example is everybody talks about access to health care. Access to health care. Well, there happened to be something that kept us from having access to health care. It's called the certificate of need. Probably most of y'all don't know what that is, do you? Well, that's a bureaucratic albatross that really keeps medical facilities from being built here in the state. And I will tell you that nobody ever wanted to touch it. And I watched it numerous times when I was in the state senate. I watched it prohibit little communities from building hospitals, from building surgical centers, or whatever it might be. And I watched it. I said, we've got to do something with this. Oh, you can't do that. You can't take on the big hospitals now. No. Hadn't been touched in 50 years. Well, I took the shots from them, and that was fine. But we got it done. And guess what? There's a brand new hospital being built in Lee County, Georgia right now. How about that? I think they consider that rural Georgia, don't they, Russ? I believe. There's also a new cancer center in Athens, Georgia, that was able to open the doors because of that. But there's no question that every year we need to be coming up with new ways to cut burdens and regulations. It's the biggest danger to small businesses is regulatory guidelines that we all have to try to abide by. And if I'm your governor, we're going to concentrate on doing just that, making it a lot easier to work there. On the educational front, education is always the number one item that we spend on every year. And every year I've always heard that we've got to reform education. We got to reform education, but nothing ever got done. So we took the lead in the Senate, and we passed for the first time ever the first school choice measure ever in the state of Georgia. And everybody, I always tell people, you can be, I was the son of a public educator. You can be pro-public school systems. You need to be pro-teachers is what it needs to be. You need to be pro-parents is what it needs to be. And then you also need to give people, because not every school system is a perfect fit for every child. So what the school choice system did is gives you the ability to take your child somewhere else and get them a good education. And I think that's the right thing to do right there. And if I'm elected governor, I can tell you we're going to expand that opportunity. We're going to expand educational opportunities. We're going to invest in teachers, not administrators. So we're going. I've been a big believer in public safety. It's hard to believe that a few years ago we had states and organizations talking about wanting to defund law enforcement. Well, we did something different in the state of Georgia. We said we're going to fund law enforcement, and we're going to make tougher laws. And we're going to go after the communities that want to be sanctuary cities, and we're going to go after DAs that don't want to prosecute people. And that's what we're doing. Because all this stuff that I'm saying right here really just makes good common sense, doesn't it, though? So I tell you this, because I know y'all are sitting here wondering, well, when's he going to start attacking his opponent? No, I'm not going to do that. That's not my style, actually. I don't like that. So I don't like that, but I will tell you this. The one thing that nobody else has in this race for governor, and on the Republican or Democratic side, there's nobody that has experienced what I've experienced in the business communities and leadership communities, as well as in the legislative body as well. I'm probably the only candidate that knows what it's like to sign the front of a check, that knows what it's like to make payroll, that knows what it's like to risk your own money, and with the hope that there will be a gain in the end. Everybody else who is running, Republican and Democrat, you can put them, there's not 15 cents difference between any of them that are running right now. I can tell you that for a fact. They have all been at the government trough their entire careers. They have all made money. And they've all risked your money, and they've been paid by your money, too. So they have no idea what it's like to create jobs. They have no idea what it's like to put business plans together to see if they can work for the state of Georgia. I always tell people all the time, look, government will never run like a business. It will not, unfortunately. But you can apply business principles to it to make it run more efficient, to make it run smoother. And as an elected official, you are our customer. You are our customer. So we ought to have a Chick-fil-A type mentality. How can we help you? And it's nice to see you, and come again, please. And we're gonna have that mentality when I'm governor of this great state of Georgia. And I will tell you this: I'll close with this here, because there's one thing, and it's been talked about here pretty heavily. But if nobody got the message, I want to remind them again. The one real reason why, and it's something nobody else has that I have in this race, but I've got the 100% backing and support of our commander-in-chief and the greatest president in the history of the same, Donald J. Trump. And I will tell you, Russ, I'm also the only person that is from outside Metro Atlanta right here. And when you're talking about the agriculture industry, which is the number one industry here in the state, you better have somebody that knows the difference between a blueberry or a cantaloupe, you know? And I will have that, but I will tell you this, I can't do it. I love having the president's endorsement, and I love having these elected officials' endorsements in this room. But let me tell you, the most important endorsement is the people sitting right here in these chairs right here, and that's you, the general Georgia public. And I can't do it without you. And I want to be your next governor, and I want to earn your support. I want to earn your support, and I think as we go down this trail, I will be able to do that. But I will also tell you this: when I know these guys well that I'm running against, I know them well. They're not bad people. I know them well. I've worked on plenty of projects with them. I've watched them. When times are good, I watch them beat their chests and take all the credit and all of that. But I've also seen them when times get tough. And I've also seen them when the heat gets on. And I've watched every one of them flinch, turn the other way, or go run and hide under their desks. And I can tell you right now, you do not want that as your governor. You want somebody who is strong, somebody who is principled, and somebody who will fight for you each and every day. And you will have that in Burt Jones as your next governor. Because at some point in time, I've taken them all on. I've taken on the Republican establishment. I've taken on Democrats. I've taken on rogue DAs even that try to incriminate you. And I'm still standing here, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm still standing here, not because I like all the glitz and glamour of this job and being attacked at every angle, but it's because I love the state of Georgia. And this next election is not about the next 4 years. This next election is about the next decade and the direction of the state. And I am tired of the Democratic Party coming into our state and spending hundreds of millions of dollars wanting to flip this state purple and turn us into Colorado or California or whatever it might be. You elect a strong governor, and we've had some good ones in the last 3 cycles, but you elect a strong governor. We're going to flip that script, and we're going to do like Florida and Tennessee, and they will stop spending money in the state of Georgia because they know it's not winnable. So I humbly ask you, stand with me today, stand with me come May 19th when we got a primary to win, and then we'll be on to November, not just to win the governorship, but take the U.S. Senate seat back, win every down ballot race, and they will quit spending their money here in the state of Georgia because they go this way. So thank y'all once again for being here today. We couldn't do it without you. From the bottom of our heart, from the Jones family, Janet and I both, I will tell you, we greatly appreciate y'all's support. We appreciate y'all's prayers. And we're going to continue down this road, and we're going to win. I have no doubt about it. Because I don't get in these things and run second place. I can tell you that. So thank y'all very much. God bless y'all, and God bless the great state of Georgia.